Hello, people. It's Andy, the Angry White Lawyer, here again. And I watched the Gorton and Denton debate that was run by, I think it's the Manchester Evening News, some local paper up there. I watched it so that you don't have to. And it went on for over an hour. And the candidates that were present were the main frontrunners, and some also rans. We're looking at Labour candidate was there, Reform, the Green, Lib Dems and the Conservatives. And most of my remarks, I'm not going to mention the Conservatives. She's out of the running, and she was just bland and saying how radical the Tories are going to be after they've had 14 years of government where they did absolutely nothing except destroy the country. So my comments mainly are related to Reform, Labour and the Greens with a smattering of the Lib Dems. Let's deal with her first. She was a local candidate, and the Lib Dems do that really well, don't they? With the locality of candidates, they've got a good ground game, and she knew all the areas that people were talking about, and she had a handle on all those local issues. And I have to say that most of the questions from the audience, I'd say nearing half of them actually, were related to green issues, local issues, which was a little bit strange to me. I wonder why.
And we have one chance to save this planet.
So she was all right, but I mean, some of the things she was coming out with were simply all over the place. So things like we're a country of immigrants, which is patently not true. She was on about Anglo-Saxon times and net zero's great, more immigration, all the usual bollocks. The usual crap from the Lib Dems. Just look at Ed Davey, Jesus. But then we had Labour and the Greens, who it seemed to me, and this is one of the reasons for this video, there's not really that much between them. Labour is more of the same. And they've done such a bad job for Gorton and Denton as they have for the country. But they've been there for decades up there, and they've done nothing. And I'm familiar in South Wales with those sort of constituencies where nothing has changed. Still the same deprivation, still the usual stuff going on. They're supposed to be the party of the worker. Those days are gone, guys. So, there seemed little between them and the Greens, other than the fact the Greens want to go further. They want to tax the super rich and hammer them further until there's no rich people left, and they'll leave the country and take their jobs with them. Who needs them anyway, right? Oh, and they want to legalise drugs, which will make that constituency much, much worse in terms of crime.
I'd like to take this opportunity to let everybody know that me and Tyrone's open for business. We service all your dope needs. Good prices, too. You know what I'm saying?
When I was a lawyer and I was involved with criminal law, most of the stuff I dealt with was drug-related or, fueled by drugs or, motivated by drugs in some way. I'd say 3/4 of the stuff. But here's a party that want to legalise it, and it'll be a free-for-all, apparently. The countries where they've tried, the approach that the Greens are advocating, they tend to have failed at it. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong about that. I haven't really looked into it in depth. I know that Portugal's experiment has failed. So they want to go further than Labour. So forgive me if I look quickly at my notes, because I did make a couple of notes on this. The Greek candidate... the Labour candidate, she is Greek. I mean, she may be a naturalised citizen of the UK. I lived in Australia for a while, and I'm not an Australian. I've got citizenship, but I'm British. I'm a Welsh-British person. She's a Greek person who's lived in Manchester quite a long time. And in fairness to her, she does have a handle on local issues. But she was particularly vicious towards Matt Goodwin of Reform, I thought, like this.
I'm going to kill you. Literally kill you.
And it was completely unwarranted, really, on about demonising migrants. And he made the point quite rightly that the most divisive policies have come from Labour because they've imported millions and millions of people and we've never voted for it and divided our communities further and not invested in those communities. So it was a bit rich for her to have a go, I thought. And it was quite interesting listening to her answer the question from the audience, which was this: what does it mean to be British, and what in being British are you most proud of? Because she was on about fair play and all the rest of it, and all these usual British slogans that we come to know and love, when she's actually a Greek. but there we are. She's entitled to run for that party, but to make play on her Britishness is a bit rich. So, and that of course was another opportunity for her to have a crack at Matt Goodwin and really go in aggressively, like extremely aggressively. But the Green candidate, for her part, she had a handle on the local issues as well. And that was probably her strong point. She'd lived in the areas that people had talked about, but she couldn't really get away from Goodwin's criticism that their plans are just very, very radical. If the Green candidate does win up there, it'll be because she's a local and because she's familiar with all their local issues. I can't see them wanting to legalise drugs, but that's what she stands for, and more and more immigration, of course. So she was in many ways impressive in the fact that she was articulate and she could string some sentences together, and she was relatively impressive, I thought. But to me, she was pushing the politics of envy. These super rich, they don't deserve their money, we're going to get it off them. But for his part, Matt Goodwin put up a good performance. His weak point, I suppose, was the lack of knowledge on local issues. But he quite rightly brought it back to the fact that MPs deal with local issues, yes, but their role is to have these issues highlighted to them by their constituents and to put pressure on the Mayor of Manchester, to put pressure on local authorities to do something about those issues. They have councillors, they have a Mayor that deals with these local issues. He is their representative in Parliament, the UK Parliament in Westminster, after all. So although he was aware of the local issues that were raised, most of which were on green issues, that was his weak point. But I thought he put up a pretty decent performance and kept bringing it back to his strengths and Reform's strength.
You fellas have nothing to worry about. I'm a professional.
Which is, a lot of these problems wouldn't exist if Labour had done their job in that constituency. And voting for more drugs and voting for more immigrants isn't going to fix it. So it was quite an interesting debate, but most of the parties, there's not that much between them. The only one that stood out, and I'm bound to say it, is Reform.